In the lush green valleys of the great Nsumba Kingdom, where baobab trees kissed the skies and the rivers sang with joy, lived a young girl named Amora. She was known throughout the village for her kind heart, gentle spirit, and beauty that made the sun linger just a little longer in the sky. But life had not always been kind to her. Amora's mother, a weaver of unmatched talent, died giving birth to her. Her father, a respected hunter named Dogo, remarried a woman named Yaya, a woman whose beauty was only skin-deep. Yaya brought with her a daughter, Zina, and a heart cold as the mountain winds. From the moment she arrived, Yaya treated Amora as an unwanted burden. She forced her to cook, clean, fetch firewood, and sleep on the cold clay floor while Zina lounged in comfort. Zina herself wasn't cruel by nature, but she grew to enjoy the power and comfort her mother provided at Amora's expense. "You're nothing but a shadow," Yaya would snay, "and shadows do not deserve happiness." Despite the cruelty, Amora never retaliated. She found solace in the stars, whispering her hopes into the night sky. The villagers whispered their sympathy, but no one dared challenge Yaya, whose tongue was sharper than a hyena's fang. Her only companions were the animals she cared for in the mornings, a goat named Mino, a little hen that clucked by her side, and the sparrows that greeted her near the grain basket. "You at least listen," she whispered one morning, stroking Mino's ear. "That makes you kinder than most people." Her father Dogo loved her, but his absence was frequent. Long hunting trips kept him from seeing the full cruelty within his home. And when he was around, Yaya's manipulation clouded his judgment. One afternoon, as Amora swept the front yard, she overheard Zina laughing with friends. "Why don't you run away, Amora?" one of them teased. "Even the trees outside this house are kinder than your mother." Amora smiled faintly, because even a seed needs darkness before it can bloom. Late at night, she would sit near the clay oven, humming the lullabies her mother once sang. The lyrics faded with time, but the warmth they brought stayed. Her voice, though quiet, carried sorrow and strength in equal measure. One night, Zina stood watching from the shadows. "Why do you sing so softly?" Amora looked up, surprised. "So the stars don't forget my voice." On Amora's 16th birthday, she lit a single candle and whispered to the wind, "Please, let my life change." One bustling market day, news spread like wildfire. A nobleman from the capital was touring nearby villages to find a wife. Mothers dressed their daughters in brilliant beads and silk wrappers, and fathers rehearsed tales of family pride. Yaya, ever the opportunist, dressed Zina like royalty. She braided her hair with cowrie shells, painted her lips with crushed hibiscus, and wrapped her in fabrics borrowed from the neighbors. "Walk like a queen," Yaya instructed. "Speak only when spoken to, and smile like you're already chosen." "Do you really think he'll pick me?" Zina asked nervously. "He'd be blind not to," Yaya snapped, fixing a strand of hair. "You're the most beautiful girl in this village." They walked through the market like royalty. The villagers whispered and stared, some in admiration, others in amusement. Amora watched from the shadows, her arms full of cassava leaves and onions. But to Yaya's dismay, the nobleman passed them by. Instead, he chose a fisherman's daughter from another village, someone simple, respectful, and wise. Yaya fumed for days. "This is an insult. That girl doesn't even know how to stand straight," she cried. Zina sighed. Perhaps he saw something deeper in her. Yaya gave her a withering look. "Deeper? Beauty is what men want. You must shine more. Next time, smile harder, speak sweeter, laugh louder." Zina hesitated. "Must we always chase?" Yaya scoffed. "That's the talk of poor people. We must rise." But destiny had something else in store. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in orange and crimson, a young farmer named Tunde entered the market. He wore tattered clothes, his sandals mismatched, and led a frail donkey named Coco. His goods were simple, tubers, millet, cassava, and his voice was soft. "Fresh yam, fair price," he said gently. Children laughed. "Look at his donkey. It's thinner than a walking stick." But Amora saw something different. His eyes, deep, calm, ancient, held a story she couldn't read. And when he turned to her, a strange warmth filled her chest. It was as if a song she had forgotten long ago had returned. "Who is he?" she whispered to Mama Jaja. Some say is cursed, others say is blessed. But he minds his own business, the old woman replied. Later, Amora approached and offered him water from her good. Their fingers touched. You are not like the others, he said softly. Neither are you, she replied, holding his gaze. They smiled. Tunde returned to the market every 3 days. Each time, he and Amora exchanged a few more words. One day, he brought her a wooden hairpin. I carve it myself, he said. It reminded me of you. Amora blushed. It's beautiful. Behind her, Yaya watched the exchange with narrowed eyes. One morning, while picking leaves by the stream, Yaya heard the whispers of 2 elderly women seated beneath a mango tree. That quiet farmer, Tunde, one said, I saw him drop a coin, shiny as a moon, pure gold. And he walks like a prince when no one is watching, the other added. Yaya froze. Her mind sharpened like a blade. She rushed home, her thoughts racing. He hides gold, she muttered. He hides something more. She began watching Tunde's movements like a hawk. Every time he came to the market, she made excuses to be nearby. She noticed his hands, how rough they were, but how they handled coins with the care of royalty. She even followed him to the edge of the forest once, but he vanished among the trees. She thought to herself, if he's hiding wealth, why does he live like this? Then an idea struck her, a dark, delicious idea. Why waste a potential treasure on Zena? She hissed. Let me punish Amora. Let her marry the mud while Zena waits her crown. That evening, Yaya visited the village elders. My stepdaughter Amora, she said sweetly, has fallen for the farmer Tunde. She's too shy to speak of love herself, but she dreams of a life with him. The elders nodded. A union sounded reasonable. After all, Amora was of age. Yaya gave a sack of cowries to the priest and whispered, have the rites performed within 3 days, and speak to no one until then. Amora returned from fetching water to find Yaya humming a song she hadn't sung in years. What's the occasion? She asked. Yaya turned with a smirk. Oh, child, you're to be married. Isn't that wonderful? Married? To who? Tunde, of course. The quiet farmer with the donkey. He accepted. Amora's jug crashed to the floor. You sold me off. Don't be dramatic. You should be grateful someone wants you. Zena looked down at her hands, guilt shadowing her face. But I don't love him, Amora whispered. Love. Yaya laughed cruelly. Love doesn't feed you. Marriage does. That night, Amora wept into her woven mat. Her goat Mino nudged her gently, and the stars above seemed to blink in sympathy. Tunde, meanwhile, was quiet when the elders approached him. She is kind. I do not deserve her, but if she agrees, I will make her life good. Amora's heart was heavy as she walked beside Tunde, up winding trails into the hills. Birds sang above, but her soul felt numb. Coco, the donkey, carried a basket of yams and woven cloth behind them. I know you didn't choose this, Tunde said gently, but I won't trap you. If you wish to leave, I'll help you go. Amora looked at him. Why did you say yes? He smiled faintly. Because when I saw your eyes, I saw a soul like the earth, bruised, but still blooming. His home was small but tidy. The walls were painted with symbols she didn't recognize. Inside was a sleeping mat, a fire pit, a shelf with dried herbs and scrolls, and a carved stool. He laid out food, roasted cassava, steamed greens, and a bowl of groundnut stew. You made this? She asked, surprised. He nodded. A man should feed more than his mouth. Over the weeks, the silence between them softened. Amora began to sing again. She watered the plants, mended clothes, and added color to the dull corners of the hut. One morning, she asked, Where did you learn to carve? Tunde looked up from his whittling. From my father. He believed a blade should shape, not just cut. At night, Tunde would sit outside and hum. His voice carried through the trees. What does that song mean? She asked, wrapping a shawl around her shoulders. It means, may the stars light your path when the moon forgets your name. One day, she followed him. He didn't notice. He walked deep into the forest, past thick roots and whispering leaves. past stones arranged in perfect spirals. Then he stopped before a wall of vines and tapped a stone, once, twice, thrice. The vine slid open. Amora gasped. Inside was a cavern glowing with hidden firelight, shelves of golden relics, statues draped in silks, chests overflowing with coins, scrolls, and artifacts. She stepped back, breath caught in her throat. Tunde turned. Their eyes met. "You've seen it now," he said quietly. "The truth." She didn't run. She walked forward. You trust me with this?" He nodded. "More than I trust myself." That night, they sat beside the fire. Tunde stirred the embers, while Amora clutched the carved comb he had given her the week before. Silence stretched between them until she finally whispered, "Why do you hide it?" He didn't look up. "Because gold draws eyes, and eyes bring danger. My family once ruled a kingdom. When greed came, it fell. My grandfather hid the treasure and told us to wait, not for revenge, but for sign." "A sign?" Tunde looked at her. "You." Amora's breath caught. "Me." "You gave kindness without promise. You saw worth where others saw rags. That is the heart of a queen." Tears welled in her eyes. "All my life, I was made to believe I was less, that I would never be enough." He took her hand. "Then let me spend the rest of my life proving otherwise." In the days that followed, Tunde shared everything: the mountain lore, the maps, the herbal knowledge passed down through generations. They began writing a plan, not for a palace, but a haven, a place where no child slept cold, where old wisdom thrived, and where honor ruled. Amora added her voice to the vision, suggesting schools, healing centers, places where women could learn and lead. "This kingdom," she said, "will be built on justice, not gold." He nodded. "And love, not fear." Back in the village, Zena sat in the empty veranda, staring at the fields. Suitors no longer visited. The girls who once praised her now ignored her. Even the boys turned their heads toward others with gentler tongues and kinder hearts. Yaya was worse. She shouted more, sulked more, blamed Amora endlessly. "She must have used a charm," Yaya grumbled. "A witch's trick." Zena finally snapped. "Or maybe she was always better than us." Yaya gasped. "How dare you?" I dared to look, and I saw. Amora was always kind. You made me look down on her. But look at her now, and look at us. Yaya slapped her. "You ungrateful girl." Zena didn't flinch. "I'd rather be grateful to her than loyal to your bitterness." When word reached them of the transformation in the hills, a grand compound, flowing streams, laughter from the trees, Yaya's jealousy turned into obsession. She marched up the slope, dragging Zena with her. "I will confront her. I will expose her lies." But what they saw humbled them. Amora, radiant in deep green robes, stood under a carved archway. Around her were children laughing, women weaving, elders seated in circle, sharing stories. Yaya staggered. You're a queen now." "I am still Amora," she said simply. "Only now I've remembered who I am." Tunde stepped forward, flanked by guards in white. "You tried to ruin her life. The gods gave her a better one." Zena fell to her knees. "I'm sorry. I should have stopped her. I wanted to, but I was afraid." Amora embraced her. "You don't have to be afraid anymore." Tunde turned to Yaya. "You may stay, but you will work. You will learn what it means to serve with humility." Yaya choked. "Serve? Me?" Amora stepped forward. "Or return to the village with nothing. Your choice." Yaya bowed her head. "Then I will stay." The years passed swiftly. The mountain haven flourished. What began as a hut became a sanctuary, part palace, part school, part garden. Amora and Tunde ruled not with crowns but with example. They walked among the people. Tunde taught young farmers how to tend soil with wisdom. Amora led circles where girls learned to read, to lead, and to dream. Festivals bloomed. Dances returned. Old songs were sung anew. Zena became a teacher of craft, designing vibrant clothes that told stories with color. Yaya, once feared, grew silent and watchful. She tended flowers by the healing center and brought soup to the sick. Slowly, her scowl faded. One morning, an old traveler arrived. He had heard tales of a golden-hearted queen and came seeking truth. "Are the stories real?" he asked. Amora welcomed him. "Come, see for yourself." He wept at the kindness he found. One night, under the stars, Tunde said, "Do you ever miss the past?" Amora leaned on his shoulder. "No, because it led me here." The children of the village would gather to hear their story. Once, the elders said, "A girl with no shoes married a farmer with a donkey." Everyone laughed, but the gods smiled, for they knew she was marrying a king. "And she?" the children asked. "She became more than a queen," they replied. "She became the heart of a kingdom." And so the tale was passed on, a story not of riches, but of redemption, not of revenge, but of grace, not of crowns, but of courage. And in the valley of Nsumba, where rivers still sing and trees still stretch toward the sky, their love remained, a golden thread woven into the soul of the land.